So what kind of world building are you talking about?
Well, when most people think about stories that are set on other worlds, they a lot of the time you don't consider the actual planet and the world building for the planet. So something I always had a passion for is video games tend to go really deep into their planets. So I kind of wanted to bring that to more traditional comics, more animation media, and it's been happening, just as more and more people have a passion for lore and world building and creating deeper stories. It's kind of been happening naturally. But something I've noticed is the isekai genre specifically, in Japan, the genre isekai means other worlds, and they tend to always follow the same path of tropes, and they never focus on the world. And it's bothered me. So I slapped a couple other E's in front, so it's better other worlds. So it's the E and then isekai. So you've got both of those. So it's better other worlds because we want to build anime specific manga, animations, and games one day that all have deep lore, great world building, and story or character driven stories. So that interact really uniquely with the world.
That's so cool. Is that because how did this passion start? I mean, you sound very passionate about it, and I know world building just from I used to game a bit when I was younger, but now I'm more into books, actually. I also don't really I don't watch many movies actually either. Sometimes I'm into a few I guess you could say TV shows, but I'm not. So I go a little bit into it sometimes. For example, I don't know, when I was reading Harry Potter or watching Harry Potter, right? The world building behind Harry Potter, I'm kind of going into that. And there's a lot of thought there, right? Of the Lord of the Rings or things like that. I don't know too much about that, but I know people are really fans of specific mangas or fans of specific movies and books. They go really deep into that. So I think you said deep lore. I guess that's the word. I didn't know that's a word. But so where does that passion come from? I mean, have you always been passionate about
I think it started when I was really young. A lot of people know Skyrim. You probably have heard of the video game Skyrim. So their series, the Elder Scrolls series, it all takes place on Nirn. That's their planet. And I started playing back when Morrowind was their, current game, when Oblivion was just coming out. So, playing through the different parts of the world from Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, seeing not just how much history that they put into the game that you can interact with, but how much it kind of continues through the sequels and how your actions kind of shape the world was always something that was just really invigorating, I guess. I just loved it. I just soaked it in. I spent hours playing those games. And I think a lot of my love for world building comes from that, as well as the fact that we would play a lot of role-playing games like tabletop, like Dungeons and Dragons growing up. So my neighbor would play Mech Warrior with us. He taught us the mechanics and we'd have our little mechs. I know it's pretty niche. Not a lot of people know about it. But you have to use a ruler and dice and measure and stuff. And it's got all this backstory about why the mechs are fighting. So it's taking that, and then when we got a little older, we started playing more character-based stuff like Shadowrun and Dungeons and Dragons as a family with my cousins. So I've always had this affinity to stories, and whenever we would play with toys as kids, I would always insist there was a central story or world or something going on. It's you can't break the rules. These are the rules of the world. You can't just crash your cars together. These Hot Wheel cars are in a specific world doing a specific thing. We're trying to achieve a goal here. So I always I don't know why, I just always had that. Even my first drawings, I was never good at drawing. I've become a good professional artist, but it wasn't a natural talent. So I look at my old kid scribbles, and they're real bad little triangle people. But these triangle people have an entire world. You've got the pointy people with their pointy houses and their pointy animals and their whole pointy lives. So I've always kind of been into that. I can't really explain it.